What do we ever do without the internet? It's such a vast library of information. The other day I pulled down information about certified used cars. Why was I thinking about certified used cars? Well, I'm in the market for another car right now, and I do believe I'm going to buy a used car. But I want a used car that I know is going to give me the service, the quality, and the kind of a new car feel without necessarily paying full price. Now, whenever I want to get information and whenever you need information about used cars, there's really only one guy to turn to. His name is Josh Friedman, and he is, in fact, the used car manager over at Heritage Chevrolet. Josh, what exactly is a certified used car? I've read on AOL, through AOL, what it is, but I want your interpretation of a certified used car.
Yeah, I read that article too, and what they said, I agree. It's almost like a third brand. It is used cars, but they're nearly new, and they're reconditioned to the nth degree, not only cosmetically, but mechanically they have to live up to new car standards. And that's different.
There are certain qualifications that General Motors specifies that you must apply before a car can become a certified used car. Is that correct?
Well, it can't have a bad odor or dents or dings on the outside, but it's also mechanical. The tire tread has to be a certain depth. The brake surfaces have to be a certain depth that is much higher than the standards for example, Virginia State safety inspections, which is all you'll find at some car dealerships.
So, General Motors certified used cars are not necessarily the same certification standards that others may apply. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I think certified used cars are most associated with luxury brands, and it's important to have a new car buying experience when you're buying a luxury car. But the same thing can happen whether you're buying a Chevy Silverado truck or a GMC Envoy or a Chevy Aveo for less than $10,000.
What is the percentage of certified used cars that you sell, let's say, as opposed to non-certified used cars?
It's about half of what we sell are GM certified cars, but the only reason it's not all of what we sell is that it has to be a traditional GM brand. But the same high standards that apply to GM certified cars set the tone for how we recondition and take a car through the shop and on the lot, whether it's a Cadillac or a Pontiac or a Toyota or a Ford.
Does being the #1 certified used car dealer for General Motors in the Metro Richmond area have an effect on the way in which you look at other cars that are not certified used cars?
We want every car to represent what we do at Heritage Chevrolet, and it is those high standards that make us the #1 GM certified dealer in all of Virginia.
In all of Virginia?
In all
of Virginia?
In all of Virginia.
I'm sorry, I gave you short shrift there. I didn't give you your full entitlement.
That's what we achieved, and that's for the last calendar year, and as of this taping, the current calendar year.
Wow. Why is it, since the standards are the same for all dealers, obviously, that Heritage Chevrolet is uniquely in that position?
Well, I disagree. I don't think the standards are exactly the same, and there may be some other dealers that sell GM certified cars. They certainly don't sell as many as we do, but they don't have to sell certified cars of any brand, and the standards are not the same everywhere.
I see.
You know, the other thing, too, is that Heritage Chevrolet is a dominant new Chevrolet dealer in Richmond, so the quality of our used trade-ins and the depth and breadth of the makes and models and brands of our trade-ins make for a really great selection at Heritage Chevrolet.
Does it necessarily follow that if you have a larger influx of trades that you take as opposed to buying cars at auction, which is traditionally where most of the other used cars come from?
Well, you know, we're very selective with what we sell if we trade in a vehicle, we don't have to sell it again as a used car if it's not in good repair, if it's beyond repair, or if it's not desirable or attractive. And the same thing holds true for the vast majority of cars that are available through lease and turn-ins and other used car auctions. We might pick 0.1% of what's available, but that still is plenty of cars to be able to stock our lot with low mileage, very clean, very desirable used cars. And we spend a lot of time and effort finding them if they're not traded in already.
What is the greatest challenge you're facing now, do you think, as a marketer of used cars?
Well, I think it's being comfortable as a car buyer with buying a used car and being able to convey to someone who comes to our lot for the first time that it's okay to buy a used car.
When we come back, we're going to ask Josh to describe some of the differences between buying a new car and a used car as he sees it. More straight ahead when we continue from Heritage Chevrolet with Josh Friedman. More interesting information regarding certified used cars and other forms of used cars. We'll be right back.